Do you have any perspective on AI?
I had a quote from Gary. He said, we live for a limited amount of time, but we are dead forever. So if AI can help us live better.
What are your thoughts on this topic of awards?
The problem becomes when you are obsessed with the awards, the medal, and then you neglect.
We know that the high unemployment rate, actually the majority is young people who get hit hard.
Yeah.
So how do we solve for that?
As a young person,
Yeah.
you have to be employable.
You're working on an exciting study.
Yes.
Do you want to tell us more?
Thinkerneur Sustainable Impact and ESG survey. What we're trying to do is to take a pause, take a breather, and
Pat. It's Pat on brands. Watch how you branded, man. A pat on the back is a pat from the man. Better be branded, man. A pat from the pat is a pat on the brand. If it's enormous.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to yet another exciting episode of the Pat on Brands podcast with me, Pat Mahlangu. It's been a minute since we recorded an episode, and also it's been long since I had a chat with this brother. Welcome back to the Pat on Brands podcast, Bogosi.
thank you very much, sir.
Yeah.
It's good to be back.
How have you been? How are things? What has been captivating you?
I've been good. We building. We're trying to grow. It's an interesting world.
Yeah.
You're trying to build new things that don't exist. So you learn along the way. So as much as you have experience in certain areas,
Got you.
when you build new things, there's no blueprint, there's no template.
Of course.
You are creating the blueprints and the templates. So I think it's been more learning, falling, standing up, facing a barrage of no's.
Oh my goodness. Actually, I saw a post on the socials that, as a founder, your role is to take as much rejection as you can.
No, absolutely.
And you still have to get up every morning and smile and wave and hunt and send another proposal.
Yeah.
Till someone say yes.
What they don't tell you about, being a founder or being in the entrepreneurial world is this notion of proposals.
Yeah.
It's the name of the game. I actually saw a quote from, I don't remember if it was Mark Cuban or who said, if you knew that your next yes would come after 75 no's, how excited would you be to go through the first no, the second no, the third no, knowing that after the 75th no, you are 1 year away from being a billionaire, for example.
Sure.
I think that's a great perspective to think about the no's. You definitely need some sort of perspective to help you
Indeed.
get through this.
Yeah, and I mean, I always say in entrepreneurship, rejection is your friend.
Nice.
You have to be comfortable with
100%.
being rejected. And
Not easy. It's not easy.
Yeah.
Because
it took me years.
Of course. So it taking you years makes sense. Because when you have an idea...
And also not to take things personally. When they say no to your idea, they're not saying no to you as a human being.
No, sometimes they do say no to you. Sometimes it is personal.
Who can say no to this fine brother?
Okay.
I'm kidding.
All right. No, but it's you have to understand the context. You have to understand the people that you're approaching.
Yeah.
Some people are saying no because it's you.
If it was someone else pitching the same idea, they would say yes.
100%. Or if you were pitching to someone else, they would receive the proposal differently.
Yeah.
Sometimes you pitch to people you love the idea, you think it works, you think it's amazing.
Yeah.
They also think it's amazing.
Yeah.
But for various reasons, they say no.
There's no budget. Maybe there's no budget.
Oh, I mean, you know what, nah? there's no budget for you. Sometimes I feel like there's no budget for you.
They can always find a budget.
budget is
I've always had the line, if it's good enough, we'll find the money.
No, 100%. I think if it's important and if they see value, definitely they will find the budget for you.
I mean, since the last time we had a chat, a lot has changed, as you can imagine. I think AI was not a thing on this podcast. And today, every second, I'd say video on YouTube is AI this, AI that. Every conference, marketing conference, AI is on the agenda. Do you have any perspective on AI?
I think, the best predictor of the future is the past. And the more things change, the more they stay the same.
Got you.
I think AI is an episode in this long series of things changing. There was a time where people were afraid of typewriters. What in the world? People who were connoisseurs of handwriting and, we started painting on walls and then writing on bricks, and then the printing press came, and then there was paper. Then there were opportunities around paper, and then it's always the same thing when something new that seems to be disruptive comes our way. There was a time when people were like, the internet this, the internet that, and now it's just AI's turn. For us.
But they say AI is dangerous because
they said
they
said the same thing about everything.
It'll make decisions for us. It can start a war. It can
absolutely.
It can misdiagnose diseases and
100%. I think the possible or the imminent dangers of AI cannot be ignored. What it can do. I think it's probably the latest innovation, so to speak, that can have a dramatic impact on how we live going forward. People are forming relationships with AI technology, So I think there is something to be noted and said, and perhaps a little bit more caution in terms of how we engage it, not from a fear perspective that it's going to take my job, but I think long term, how we interact and engage as social beings, how we live, the menial stuff, the laborious stuff. I saw a quote. I had a quote from Gary who said, "We live for a limited amount of time, but we are dead forever." So if AI can help us live better
and longer
and experience life, through all the senses, where we feel and like we're living. For me, if it can help us do that, enhance our experience of life, I think why not?
Why not, indeed. Bring it closer to our space, the industry. Obviously, that has. AI has had an impact. I'm not sure if you're a strategist, right? But you can also write copy. But do you think we're gonna need the copywriters in the long run?
100%. I still think. You know what? For me personally, I don't think there should be too much reliance on AI. And I say this not from a fear perspective.
Yeah.
Whether you have a job or not, I think it's still important for us to still have a handle on our cognitive abilities.
Indeed.
To think things through, to understand. I think that's still important.
Okay.
And for that to happen.
But how are we gonna think things through when our attention span is actually now less than that of a goldfish? we are becoming increasingly impatient. We no longer sort of finding joy in the process, of creating stuff, because AI, what would take an individual hours, it would give it to me in seconds.
So I think we have to think about it from the perspective of when you win something, you obviously lose something. When you lose something, you win something. In the process of being able to do things quicker, but for me, it's not you doing it.
Yeah, but like you were saying earlier on that let AI do the work, then so that you can enjoy life to its fullest.
No, to enhance certain things. There are certain things that I still think we need to do. If you don't read or consume whatever text or context or that you're supposed to read, and you let AI consume it, you will end up with a lot of gaps in your understanding. I still think we need to do the work. We need to read the article, read the full article, read the document.
Read the full article that is written by AI.
No, that's not written by AI. Read the information. What I find is that we are delegating stuff that should still be our responsibility. I mean, we are hired pre-AI. We were hired because of our knowledge and expertise. I still think that's important. You still need to know what you're talking about. When you shortcut and you short-circuit the process, you're delegating information or you're delegating activities to AI, and then you're not doing the work. For me, it's dangerous to delegate everything to AI. I think there are certain activities that should be left to AI, but you should understand the full text and the summary.
Gotcha.
That's why I think you still need to consume the content. For example, if you ask AI to do a proposal for you, it's like, hey, I want to do this thing. Please put together a proposal that's this much, and you don't even read the proposal. And then you submit your proposal. The people receiving your proposal, because they want to understand what it is that you're saying, they read the full proposal. And then they realize certain things that you said, they don't make sense. And then they come and ask you. You have no idea what they're talking about.
No cooking clue.
You have no clue what they're talking about. So I think we have to, we shouldn't remove or make ourselves redundant in the value chain. For me, I think it's important for one to understand what is happening and what they're talking about.
Gotcha. And obviously, speaking of still on sort of the AI sort of topic, we've also seen in some award shows where case studies actually were made using AI, for awards submissions. And I know that you also have quite some interesting things to say about awards programs. Yeah. I mean, it's almost awards season now. We're going to see quite a few awards taking place in our industry. Even not only in our industry, just in general, What are your thoughts on this topic of awards?
Awards. I think awards, when they are done or executed with a genuine intent, they're amazing. At a human level, awards about recognition.
Got you.
For the effort put in and the results achieved. When they're done with that view that there are people doing some type of work, they've put in effort,
invested resources,
and they've also applied some level of ingenuity or creativity that makes things interesting or better.
Yeah,
that should be rewarded.
Okay.
But there are a lot of things with creative awards where some awards, or entries are only done for the purposes of receiving an award.
Sure.
I don't think...
Is that a bad thing?
I mean, it depends who you ask.
Yeah, I mean, we are an agency and we know that clients want to work with award-winning agencies. Therefore, why don't we just, even clients themselves want to win awards.
Even clients want to...
I remember I was at some function, and it was a post-event chat, and I remember this marketing executive saying, she's only going to hire an agency that's going to win her awards. That's going to make her marketing person of the year. I was like, our agencies don't stand a chance.
Yeah.
Even clients want to win awards. It's not just the agencies.
I think with that comment, the thought that comes to mind is that intention creates reality. What I mean by that is, whatever your intention is, your actions will lead to creating an environment and a reality that lives up to whatever intention that you have. For me, if you want an agency that has won awards, you will get an agency that has won awards. If you want an agency that is effective in their work and happens to win awards, then you will get an agency that knows what it's doing, that is effective, efficient in the thinking process, in coming up with solutions, and then they win awards. So I think it just depends on what it is that you want. I think awards are obviously tied to ego, which isn't a bad thing. Ego isn't a bad thing. But I think the problem becomes when you are obsessed with the awards, the medal, and then you neglect the main thing, which is a client comes with a problem linked to business. We are not selling enough. We are not getting enough conversion. Our products are not moving. We need creative ideas that are going to move those things or unlock some sort of value. I don't think the idea of winning awards should be the spearhead into your process of solving the problem. Coming from, agency background, we know how these things work. There's work, but it's slightly, nuanced in the sense that what is the thing that shows that you are great at what you do? In football, you win the FIFA World Cup, you get a gold medal. I think there's value in being recognized for that. But sometimes working with clients, they don't allow you to, exercise or show your creative prowess. You come up with great ideas, but for whatever reason, ideas get watered down and then they don't meet the benchmark or the expectation for creative awards. And then what ends up happening is that agencies now have to create a parallel stream where they do the work, they do what client is asking of them, and then they do proactive ideas where they win awards. But for me, there's no value in creating proactive ideas that don't deliver on the work itself.
Or don't deliver business value.
100%. So those awards are awards that, if you win a big award for creating a solution that nobody uses, the client has not used, consumers have not engaged with, is there value? I don't know. I don't know if there's value in that approach of basically manufacturing an opportunity to win an award versus here's an opportunity, here's a problem, we solved it, here are the results. Award programs, do you recognize and appreciate the work? Yes. Here's your medal.
Yeah. But also what I find very fascinating also with the industry awards where you have the player and the referee in the same match.
Yeah.
That also adds another interesting dynamic to this awards.
No, 100%. And I think because we're humans, we are open to bias. We err on certain things. Because we're humans, sometimes we feel appreciation that might, sort of like manipulate how we think or contaminate how we think. If a brand endorses or supports an awards program, and then the agency for the same brand also enters awards, I think you'd have to put measures in place where the work is being judged as the work itself.
But I think, you'll always have a gray area if that's the approach.
100%.
If you allow that to happen, and I know the awards need money, you're speaking to an awards organizer, but I guess with ours, it's clear. Anyone who sponsors it because they believe in the cause and not because they want to get closer so that they're better positioned to win.
Yeah.
And hence I'm saying, can one be a player, a coach, and a referee at the same time?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
No, I don't think so.
I think it's up to the organizers themselves, in terms of where do they draw the line, because there will always be a gray area if we've got
100%.
an agency or a brand that's also vying for the awards. They're also a sponsor. They have to get their money back.
No, 100%. Although I don't think that's the intention. I don't know, but
but the waters will always be...
Yes, lines will be blurred.
Yeah.
Maybe sometimes you might think, these guys have sponsored, so let's give them something also so that...
To take home.
Yeah, those lines become blurred. That's why in organizations, you have to declare your interests so that they know how you move. I think it's easy to fall on the wrong side.
Exactly. When the setup is like that.
But the environment is conducive for bad things to happen. They will happen.
Indeed. But also, I also find it interesting, especially, with the industry awards, where you have the bronze, the silver, the gold, right? But you have 5 bronze winners, 3 silver. I never got to understand that whole dynamic. Shouldn't you just have 1, 1, 1, 1? It's almost as if, like, to your point, everybody must get something in a way, not the best of the best. You get me? Because in my view, you should have 1 gold winner, 1 silver, 1 bronze, and it ends there. Why must we have 5 bronze winners?
I think in true competition style, if we take Phil...
And you find that out of the... sorry for interjection. You find that all the 5 that are getting the bronze there's no loser in a way because there's 5 entries and all of them are getting something.
Yeah. So saying in true competition style, I think in principle, yes, it should be like that. The same way it is in the Olympics, in football, there's 1 gold winner, 2nd place and 3rd place. And then, unfortunately or fortunately, I don't know, depending on how you look at it, it is a business. It is a business model. So you have to keep your customers entertained. You have to keep your customers feeling like they're also gaining something. So what you want long term is an awards program that's self-sufficient, meaning there are entries, there are people who attend, and there are people who are happy. So how do you keep people happy?
You must just give them something.
You have to give them something.
But yet the same industry is, I've spoken to a lot of advertising execs and they say, the standard has dropped.
Yes.
But yet everyone gets rewarded for
showing up
for paying the entry fee.
100%. And it's like gambling. The more you feel like you're going to hit the jackpot, the more you play. So if you get bronze, what are the chances of you getting silver and gold? So you continue. It keeps you in the game. It keeps you hooked, keeps you in the loop.
Gotcha.
It's a business model. If people feel like they're not going to win, they're not going to enter. But if they feel like they might win something or they walk away with something, then it feels like something that you continuously need to be a part of. For me, in principle, sometimes if they aren't deserving winners, we should just all go home, with one or two winners. I think that's how you sustain the quality of the industry.
Yeah.
The same way when the Minister of Education said reduce the pass mark to 30. I don't know what the thinking is.
Yeah.
But if you want to ensure that not a lot of people fail, then that means people will do the bare minimum.
Directly.
Yeah. So, and I'm sure some people who've won awards, although they celebrate the recognition, deep down they know that
they're not deserving.
No, they're not deserving. That I'm convinced of. I'm convinced of. I know.
And I had something with us at the Yobas. There's been a lot of suggestions to say, but also recognize the ones that don't win. But I'm like, if we say our positioning is the gold standard of youth excellence, only the excellent ones should win. And anyone who's watching them must feel somehow inspired by their actions to say, damn, to win a Yoba, there's only one gold trophy. You don't have a silver, you don't have a bronze one.
Yeah.
It's gold.
100%. I think it's important to keep that standard, to make it worthwhile, to win.
And we still get a lot of entries, by the way.
Okay.
We still get thousands of entries every year.
That's good. That's good. I think if the creative awards were done in such a way that it's actually difficult to win an award, I think that would raise the standard and the quality of the work that we do.
Absolutely. Because the same people that are getting awards are the same people that are complaining about the standard being like. But anyways, it is what it is.
Yeah, no. When we speak about creative awards, for me, it's when one puts a case study together, the entries and the argument and the narrative around the case study is always meticulous and perfect. And I think the reason that case studies and all of these things sound perfect is because awards are written in hindsight.
Got you.
They're written in hindsight, meaning you got the brief, you answered the brief, you went to market. Some things may have not been perfect, so you're getting feedback from the consumer and how they react. And then when it's time to enter an award case study, when you enter the awards, what you're also using are the learnings from the process. Meaning, you can speak better about the work than when it actually launched. So putting case studies in hindsight means you have a lot more perspective. You can speak better. The language that you use might not even be the language that you used when you were doing the work.
Got you.
I'm so fascinated by the case studies that every case study is always perfect.
It's amazing.
Like every case study.
300 million people reached, impressions on social media. Impressions are bought. Technically awards are bought. Because you pay for the entry. In principle, anything you pay for, you buy. Not to say it's wrong to do so. I remember the organizers, the award show, it costs a lot of money.
True.
To put them together.
So then that means those who can enter more have higher chances
of winning.
of winning. So I always find it fascinating.
And that explains, because I mean, I recently went to attended an awards show, industry, obviously. And it was just the top 5 agencies going up and down the stage, collecting awards. You're like,
yeah, no, it makes sense.
so it means the bigger you are, the more resourced you are.
Yeah.
Whether or not the work itself is the greatest in the country, but by virtue of that, of the 3 things that I mentioned, the more likely you are to win.
No, 100%. I mean, if you enter one piece of work into 25 categories, there's no way you're going to lose. There's no way you're not going to go home with something.
I'm sure if you lose, I'm going to throw it.
Yeah, no.
Right?
Yeah, I mean, it's like that with every, maybe not so much, but I mean, if you have the resources and can put money behind it, you can put people behind it. Agencies do spend. It's like it's a line item.
It's the budget.
Yeah,
budget.
In the P&L, there's awards where they spend to enter awards to put the work together, production of case study videos and sending people to awards. You're not gonna. It's then it becomes for me, I think, a PR and a branding thing more than the work. I'd be fascinated to see an awards program where brands have not entered, but the work is recognized.
Maybe you should start one.
And I'd also be fascinated to hear from the consumers, the people that we're creating the work for. I think it'd be interesting to see voting from the general public, not us as an industry. I think we have a unique perspective, and sometimes I think we look for the things that the consumer is not looking for. We, naturally so, as our industry, are always looking for the next thing. We're always looking for the best idea that pushes the envelope.
Yeah.
Consumers are not thinking like that. The most basic idea, the most basic execution, if it's got
simplest
humor,
one to understand.
and the simplest one to understand, if it's got humor, people will love it. We sometimes might judge a piece of work for lack of innovation, but the consumers love it. Consumers are not thinking, hey, last year this was the trend, next year this is going to be the trend.
Yeah.
They're just consuming if it makes sense to them.
Yeah.
That's why sometimes if you watch, or you talk to people, randomly ask people, do you know this ad? Do you love this ad? You as a professional thinking, this ad lacks this, doesn't have that punch, it doesn't, and the people are like, I love it. Why? For that thing that they say at the end, it's like, that's what resonates with consumers. So I think it's tricky. I'm always fascinated with the consumer perspective and the consumer point of view, which is always missing. And then there comes the conversation around if you critique a piece of work, or if there's a piece of work that wins an award, and then you say, but how? Then
the devil.
the rebuttal is, but you're not the target market. And for me, this conversation of you're not the target market doesn't hold water. If you think about anything and everything that trends, who is it for?
It's never meant for us. Even the dance challenges that we see everywhere.
They're not for us, but we see it.
Yeah.
How?
Because they have virality.
Then how come a brand, it might be an FMCG, which is in 90% of households.
Yeah.
They do a campaign. Nobody sees it.
Okay, we don't see it, bro.
And that's the thing.
And yet we are not the most ignorant people in this country. And we are the students of this industry.
But you say we don't see it. We assume that people see the work. You'd be surprised. A lot of people don't see the work.
But yeah, let's talk briefly about also what happened at the Cannes this year, still on this awards topic.
Yeah, I mean, there's been a lot of controversy around the type of work that won. Recently, there was an issue with an agency called DM9. I think it might be in Brazil, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Where the work that won Grand Prix at Cannes was found to have been manipulated.
Was found to have been enhanced.
Enhanced. I think that's the correct, politically correct term.
Yeah.
It had been enhanced. And there was a complaint by CNN Brazil. So in the case study, the agency used footage. This is real footage that existed to sell their products. To enhance the story, they manipulated the video and added certain elements which were not real. Because the creators and the authors of the content knew their content.
Yeah.
And this is after the agency had
been on the stage.
Has been on the stage.
Champagne has been popped.
You know what I mean? So then CNN Brazil raised the issue and said, no, that cannot be. That footage looks like our original footage, but it has been manipulated or enhanced. And then the awards were pulled. I think the creative leader ultimately ended up resigning.
Sure.
And I think this is all because of the pursuit of the metal. Because awards, case studies are done in hindsight. When looking back, you realize some of the gaps. And then what do? You fill those gaps. This is where now the perfection of the story and the narrative comes into play, where you are now trying to make the story sound more than what it was. You start using jargon and language to heighten the thing that you're trying to put forward for the judges. For me, I see it as two different things. There's work that you've done, which is work that needs to be awarded. And then there's the case study video, which is a campaign in and of itself. So when you put a case study together, you are campaigning for the work. So it's almost like you're creating a campaign for the campaign, which was intended.
Campaign for the campaign.
It's a campaign for the campaign.
Sure.
Because now you're speaking to a different audience. You're speaking to judges. You're speaking to individuals, jurors who...
But also you need to package it in a way that, is more palatable to them.
No, 100%. Again, for me, what does it mean? You're not in a bad sense. You are enhancing. You are manipulating. You are shaping it. That means it's not a true reflection. You're creating a different perspective from what was. And I think that's one of the dangers with awards programs. Because when you do the work, you might not necessarily be thinking about entering into the awards. Although there are some agencies who are well established, well developed into this thing. They know when they do work, it's going to go into. So they've got the system in place.
Indeed.
But generally, you get a brief. You get the brief from the client. You start doing the work. They bomb you the first presentation. They bomb you the second presentation. It's the messy part of doing the work. It's never nice. It's not as polished sometimes as what the case study portrays to have been the process. The case studies make it seem like it was seamless and perfect. We got the brief. Here's a wonderful insight. Here's the creative idea. We launched. Everybody loved it. But sometimes it's not as seamless as what it is. I don't know. I think awards, they've got their place. But I think as jurors, as judges, I think we should use our own discretion to see beyond the case study and actually see the real work.
Got you.
There's a lot of bias that goes into awards. Meaning the one bias that I've also noticed is one where whichever brand or agency always wins, it will always win. even
What's a
when
winner? Always a winner.
a winner is always a winner. So there's a bias that comes with being a chronic winner, meaning sometimes the work is not up to scratch. But because we know that you always win,
Yeah.
you will win.
Got you.
There's a bias that comes into the judging process sometimes. Because we're human,
Yeah.
we always expect a particular brand to win regardless. For example, if you are a young creative and you want to win a creative award, there are 4 or 5 agencies
That you need to work for.
that you should work for, where you know you're going to win an award. Meaning, with or without you, the agency is going to win an award. Therefore, if you want to win an award,
You must go.
go there. And then I think there's a difference in going to an agency where they never win awards. You go there, you contribute, you bring your value, you bring something fresh, then the agency wins awards. I think it's a different thing. So I think you can set up your career to be an award-winning creative or an award-winning client. Agencies, they do have systems that are established that allow for winning awards to be easier. For a lot of agencies and a lot of clients, it's actually not easy to win an award, especially if you're a client where you're actually dealing with proper challenges within your brand. Your product is not moving, your positioning is incorrect, your brand is stale, whatever the case may be. Where day to day you're dealing with issues. There's no time to be saying, oh, if I could win this award, you've got proper problems. And then there are other brands that have less issues related to their strategies, to their creative, to their brand, where they've reached that stage where the work is flowing. Now they can, also focus on work that wins awards.
Interesting. Just want to remind the people who are watching this conversation right now, if you're enjoying it and you are, learning something, please click on the subscribe button. That's the most profound way you can thank us for spending time having this conversation here. Bogosi, another thing that I've noticed that you're quite passionate about is obviously this issue of youth empowerment, but youth empowerment in the context of, employment. Why is that? Where does it come from? Because, one could say you are doing fairly okay yourself. Why should you bother?
Fairly okay. It's relative.
I know, right?
Yeah, I think it's something that we should all be bothered with, especially in our industry. If we are marketers, if we are creative people, we're coming up with ideas that are going to help sell products and services. Who's going to buy those products and services? I think sometimes we neglect the obvious fact that we need money and we need employment, or we need opportunities to generate some income.
Gotcha.
Whether you're self-employed, you're running a business, or you're employed, you need those things. And I think for people who are fairly okay to enjoy their fairly okay acquired materials and whatever, you need an environment where you don't seem like the odd one out. Then you become a target. So for us to enjoy the basic things, like for example, you cycle.
Yep.
I don't think you would appreciate you being hijacked. It's still hijacking if they take your bike.
Being pushed off my bike and someone takes it.
Yes, if I don't think you would appreciate that. And I think for us to enjoy those things, the majority of the people will need to be comfortable.
Yeah, even like, for example, I'll give you an example. I also run, I'm a comrade runner.
Yes, congratulations.
Thank you. Actually, the last time, I'm actually off ramping a bit. But so when you run marathons, there's a difference when you run in suburbia / on the countryside / township. and I've noticed that, when you run, especially in the disadvantaged, what one would call them areas, like you have kids, just begging you for the water that you're drinking,
Hectic.
that plastic water, and that makes the whole process of what one wants to accomplish not as enjoyable in a way, because you're just reminded of, if you have kids just asking or begging you for the water that you're drinking whilst you're running.
Yeah, no, I think that says a lot. And I think for me, to answer your question, that speaks to this notion of being a conscious human being first, let alone whether you're in marketing or creative. Just being conscious of your surroundings and having a certain level of empathy and care, I think we should all care what happens in our surrounding areas.
Indeed.
The reason I think I'm passionate about that is that I know what it's like to be in that position. And I think what I'm trying to do is to create opportunities for young people to get themselves out of those circumstances. And I think it is people's responsibility to take themselves out, but it is the responsibility of those who have to create those opportunities. So we have to be conscious. And I think the minute we become comfortable, we forget. I think that would truly be the end.
Sure.
And for me, I'm not surprised at the high unemployment rate. I think that is a reflection and a symptom of our leadership, particularly our government.
Sure.
It's a manifestation of what is going wrong at a leadership level.
But when the leaders themselves are asking questions, how did we get here?
So when it comes to, leadership, I always liken national leadership to household leadership. When there's no leadership in a household, you can tell, and it becomes evident.
Bana ba itaola.
Akona molao. So if you then expand that to the national level, if our leader is always shocked, can you imagine a father in a home always shocked at what the kids are doing? It's like, how did we, that household is doomed. So I think...
But somehow at the national level, we just need to be okay with that. In a way.
Yeah, we've been sensitized to be okay. And I don't know if that's linked to our nature as South Africans. We, for some odd reason, anything and everything turns into a joke. We make fun of it. For me, I think it's deeply concerning when you have a president that is always laughing. I've never seen him serious. Like, I have never seen him serious about anything. Which is, I think it's profoundly sad. Then the job is left to the private sector, to citizens in the country to do what they can, So that's where, we then have to play a role to help with whatever the circumstances, the social ills. For brands.
So even let's say, the middle class, somehow we perpetuate these problems indirectly.
In what sense?
For example, when the traffic lights stop working, instead of obviously lodging complaints, I'm sure some people do, but then we find a mapara directing traffic and we start giving them money.
Yes.
Do you think that traffic lights will ever work again?
There's been some people who suggested that Kimapa rights or the robot that
I think I support that argument. It doesn't make sense. When there's no load shedding, when there's no rain, that you have a traffic light that doesn't work. That only works for a few hours. Like in the morning, it will be working. When you go back home later, it's not working. You know.
So I think that would be a segment making means being
So
creative.
Yeah, that's one way. Then the other is obviously then with crime, for example. Obviously, we invest in security. We pay for security in our houses, on our streets. Then that means that there's really not much incentive for the SEPs to do their work. Because part of their work is being done by the private sector. So when citizens put in money to solve the problems that the government is supposed to be solving, somehow the government gets away scot-free.
No, I agree. I think the issue is when you solve national issues at an individual level. So I think when you talk about the black middle class or just middle class who find their own way to solve for things, that's us as individuals making means to protect our homes. But obviously that is not scalable.
Yeah.
And once you have means and resources to solve your own problem, you almost become immune to the more macro issues that affect everyone else.
Indeed.
I think when we start to neglect or not feel the pain, or where we feel like we are not affected, then naturally we don't care. It doesn't affect us. Therefore, as long as I go to work, come back, go to Seattle, buy coffee, pour petrol here, buy a Red Bull in the afternoon, go to gym, it seems like the world and the universe and the surrounding areas are not as bad.
Yeah.
So I don't know how we can get everybody to care. Possibly there might be some psychological solution that might be required.
Yeah, maybe we need sociologists, to
100%.
do their work and study the societies that we find ourselves in. I mean, if you think about it, even apartheid, it was planned and executed by social scientists.
Mm-hmm.
Verwoerd was a sociologist, and understood. That's why, we find ourselves, we still have some of,
100%.
leftovers.
Yeah.
Of apartheid. And
I don't know if it's leftover or if it's the main meal. I feel like the majority of it still exists and permeates through our society.
That's why I always like when you maybe on social media some people post that that the humanities are useless or social sciences are useless causes. I mean causes, causes, not causes. Causes, and I'm like, do they know what social scientists can do in a society?
Which is why I think I enjoy, behavioral economics from a marketing perspective.
Yeah.
I think Rory Sutherland speaks beautifully about it, and he's one of the thought leaders around behavioral science, where he says you can increase the value of something without tampering with the physical engineering of the thing by just playing in the psyche, in the mind. You can increase the value of something by just changing how people perceive a particular thing. I think for me,
he calls them what, moonshots.
I'm not sure what he calls them. Yeah, but for me, apartheid is like, if you think about the thinking and not the dark side of it, but just in principle in thinking, I don't think democracy came with strategic thinking that matched apartheid thinking.
Sure.
A lot of the infrastructure today is based on the apartheid thinking, the Group Areas Act. Where do we live? Where do we work? That is still much the design. We're still living within the design of apartheid. A lot of people still live in townships, in rural areas. Where do they work?
In cities.
In the cities, in the northern suburbs. That's how it was meant to be, and that's how it is still today.
Continues to be, yeah.
So I think what we missed is, in addition to the political freedom, how do we achieve economic freedom that truly balances. I mean, 30 years down the line, I think even from an infrastructure perspective, not just mindset, not just ideology, but physically, where I feel like the township area should have been refurbished. Why don't they look like the suburbs? Like,
Instead, actually, some have deteriorated. I mean, growing up, we used to have a beautiful stadium, but now if you go there, it's like
yeah, no, I
left of it. There's no more stadiums. There's no more community halls.
Yeah, I think what we lost with democracy is intent. I think we lived off a lot of philosophy and conversations, but we lost the intent to build. I'm fascinated by the fact that there aren't high quality schools in townships. Those are the things that we should have dealt with. Apartheid ensured that in communities such as the northern suburbs, most of the schools are public schools, well run.
Yeah.
For townships to still have schools that kids don't have equipment to do, it's like a lot of the status quo of apartheid has been maintained, which then leads to our current situation today, with high unemployment. That was by design, So I think to fix it, we have to be as intentional
Gotcha.
with our current state politically, like the apartheid regime was. So they actually designed it not for it to end in 1994. For them, even in 2025, that's how they envisioned it, that would still be an apartheid.
Hectic.
But I'm not sure, and this is where I say, as South Africa, I don't think we have a vision. So when we say people are unemployed, if we want people to be employed, what do we want them to be employed for? So if we have a vision and we say, as a country, this is where we see ourselves in 2040, then for me, a clear path starts to emerge in terms of what kind of jobs we need. What kind of country? You know how we think about our brands? We position our brands and we say, this is where we're going. We are disrupting this. That's why I think some of the best thinkers that could help our country are actually in our industry. I think that thinking, that philosophy, those principles, we can actually build our country using the principles of building a brand. How do we want to compete as a country? I feel like a lot of things.
How do we want the world to see us?
How do we want the world to see us, perceive us, engage? What kind of world do we see? For me, I'll use an example. Toyota is one of the most innovative brands in the world for me, in terms of how they're thinking about their business.
Toyota production system. Have you read about that?
No.
Even Kaizen.
Oh, yeah.
Concept of Kaizen.
Yeah. So from a business perspective, Toyota is not concerned with a particular industry, which I think is fascinating. Yes, they're in the automotive world, but they are thinking about how their brand and business can shape and enhance how we experience life. Their vision is about enhancing the future of mobility, how we move, how we travel. That means that has led them to be concerned about where we live as well, and the architecture and the designs of where we live. If you think about mobility, it's basically from A to B. Whether you're in an airplane, a car, a bike, it's about mobility. So that allows them to think much more broadly than a vehicle. They're designing cities of the future where people can live and move and live a lifestyle of a particular sort, you know. So if you take that principle where Toyota is like, how do we enhance life in general from a mobility perspective?
Yeah.
Then what is our vision as a country? So outside of the Rainbow Nation and living harmoniously together, I think that should be a given. But to move forward, to be a competitive nation, what is our vision? What do we want to lead in? What do we want to be known for? Then I think when we create employment, we need to create employment for the thing that helps us reach our vision, which is normally how you build a brand. You have a vision, you have your intention, and then you work towards that vision. I'm not sure if we have a clear vision as a country. The concepts and the notions of living together, braaiing together, from a social perspective, that should be a given. Then how do we compete and grow as a country? I think employment should be based on our vision. If you look at countries like China, the kids in terms of so that vision will inform even things like our education system, what the kids get taught. In China, the kids learn how to fix an engine. They understand the components, they understand robotics. We will never compete with those kids. So if kids are fixing engines at 7, 9, 7, 8, 9, 10 years old, and our kids are on TikTok, which is why...
Are dancing.
As a parent, I don't advise...
We're that country of vibes,
That's the problem.
We're vibing in this country.
Then we shouldn't complain. I don't think we should complain. We have to choose our lane. And life will constantly show you. If you're a vibe person, this is naturally how your life ends up. And
there's plenty of case studies.
There are plenty of case studies. If you're a person of intention, usually this is how your life ends up. So the things we do are also not reflective of a concerned country or nation as well.
So are you saying, to a certain degree, we're not worried enough?
No, we're not.
This, high unemployment?
No, we're not. So we acknowledge it, we talk about it, but then the question is, what now or what next? What are we supposed to do? We still relinquish our power to the government. We still expect the government to do something. So I think we need to do something and create expectations for government.
But do you think also, I have this notion I've been sort of dabbling with, that just like if you look at the many problems that we face in our society, there's almost like one can conclude that our abilities as a country to solve problems is almost non-existent. There's problems that have been since we were growing up. Zero interest or lack of ability to just solve problems. Like whatever problems emerges today will continue to be the norm somehow.
Who should solve those problems?
Those who have authority to solve problems.
Exactly.
You can arrest someone today. You can make sure that that person is actually prosecuted. So...
Yeah, no. I think it will always go back to leadership. And some people have noted the corruption from the top down. I think it's corruption, lack of leadership, lack of intent. People who are there to enrich themselves, people who don't care. I think there's a desire at the bottom for the problems to be resolved. But the people who hold the power, which I still think it's us as citizens, but then we relinquish power to people who are in positions of power. Then we expect them to do what's right, which will never happen. So I think there is a desire, especially for people who are feeling the consequences of certain decisions or however things are. People want those things to be resolved. But the people who are accountable and responsible for doing the right thing, if they don't do it, the issue is that we don't hold them accountable.
Yeah.
I think that's the issue. Then it becomes the norm, and then it gets delegated to, hey, do what you have to do,
Tell what you must.
Yeah. Then it becomes an individual thing.
Yeah.
Which then I say, you can never solve a national or a macro issue with a micro solution or even a nano solution. You need to meet the problem where it's at with a solution, or even beyond that.
That's very profound. So, in a nutshell, how do we solve this? Young people are unemployed. We know that the high unemployment rate, actually, the majority is young people who get hit hard.
Yeah.
So, how do we solve for that?
I think there's definitely short, medium, and long-term solutions. There are things that can be done now, and there are things that can be done in the medium term, and there are things that should be done in the long term.
Gotcha.
In the short term, unfortunately, I would say it is up to you. And I don't think it's a bad thing for things to be up to you as an individual. I think the mindset that one needs is that you are on your own. For anything to change, you need to change as the individual.
Gotcha.
So mindset change and being aggressive. Nobody's waiting to give you a job. When people start businesses, they're not thinking about you specifically. They don't see your face. When somebody starts a business, yes, there's the benefit of being able to employ a number of people.
Yeah.
But coming up with a business, you're thinking about a business for you and the people that are close to you. You have a vision, you want to build something. It's about the thing. And then what you need is to build a company which comprises of people that you employ. As a young person, you have to be employable. So
they're gonna come for you for that one.
No, but you need to be employable. You need to be employable. You need to have certain skills. Why do we accept in professional football when people say that player is not good enough, they must sit on the bench, and then we need to put in a better quality player? The same principle applies in the job market. If you're not good enough to do the job, we can't employ you in good faith or for the greater good.
Yeah.
You need to bring in value.
Absolutely.
Unless if we're running a charity where we just bring so that people can be employed.
But even charities need money.
Exactly.
And to get money, there must be some sort of value.
There's always value. So if you think about it from their perspective of value, and because at the bottom, there's an oversupply of people like you with similar skills. At that level at the bottom, it's low-level skills. So how do you stand out? It goes back to that point. It's up to you. And the things that you do that can make you stand out, you can volunteer, and it's natural. We must go above and beyond when we are at the bottom so that we stand out. Think about it. If a company wants to employ 10 people and they get 1,000 CVs, how would they make a decision? You have to stand out. So it's up to you. And then I think the short term, so it would be immediate, which is up to you. You need to do something to empower yourself to stand out. Medium term, I think we have to collectively care. We need to be worried. So is being worried enough though? So it's one thing to be worried and it's another to do something about it. 100%. So you are worried, you care, and then you need to take action.
Got you.
We need to take collective action. And I think the middle part, the midterm solution, is us being active, which will then lead to the long-term part. I think once we get to us being actively involved and worried, I think it starts to speak to the notion of policy and policymakers. The one thing that I think about a lot of the time is our education system, where you go kindergarten, crash, whatever, primary school, you go high school.
Yeah.
Let's say you don't fail. You go through the stages and you're not set back.
Yeah.
12 years of you going to school. You are 18. After 18, you're not employable. You're not bringing value to it. Like, how does it make sense that we go to school for 18 years? After 18 years, we are required to go to university.
For 3 years.
For 3-4 years. To make it worse, after 3-4 years, you're not employable. What are we doing?
Sure.
So the education system is based on an old model. The old model says you need to go to university. That's why I think it becomes discouraging if I go to school and I don't qualify to even go to university. Everything around me, the narrative says you need to go to university. In the real world, you'll find a lot of people that didn't go to university.
Yeah.
That
Making a decent living.
Making a decent living. But the environment says these are the stages. So once we do the short-term thing, we fix it, we care, we change policy, then we force the long-term layer, which is concerned with leadership, making the right policy, changing things. For me, if I had it my way, my son wouldn't go to school. He would do things that by 18, he's way ahead. Other kids might be fluent in English. Other kids might be amazing at studying for a test, passing a test.
Yeah.
But he'd be fluent at life. Once you get into the real world, what is required is it's not whether you can memorize, it's your ability to think and create value through your imagination, through the things that you can do. For me, if we can do things in that way, like for example, unintentionally and intentionally, sometimes I'm conscious of it, but I'm teaching my son strategy, how to think strategically, how to think business. So we talk about those things. Yes, there's the school stuff, but we talk about solutions.
So, I mean, also, lastly, as we conclude our conversation, I mean, you're also quite passionate about impact, and I think it links to obviously the previous discussion. You're working on an exciting study.
Yes.
Do you want to tell us more?
Yeah. So obviously, there's been a lot of conversations around ESG, sustainability. Everybody is up in arms. There's new legislation. I think that world is complex, and I think that's why a lot of people shy from it. Even if you want to get in, you don't even know where to start. There's so many things that are involved. There's so many things that you need to know about.
Yeah.
So with this Thinkerneur Sustainable Impact and ESG survey, what we're trying to do is to take a pause, take a breather, and make an assessment of where people are mentally regarding sustainability and impact. Basically, what we want to do is to take stock of organizations, individuals, various stakeholders. Remember, there's a push towards, if you look at the SDGs, there's a goal in which, where we're trying to go with all the SDG, the 17 goals around poverty, hunger, gender equality, and all of that. We've been driving and working towards that. Organizations are changing how they operate. They're bringing in new policies. Companies are becoming more conscious. So with the survey, we just want to understand where people are and provide some sort of sentiment and thinking from people on the ground perspective. So basically, this survey is for organizations, brands, corporates, foundations, any entity, including marketing, brands, advertising agencies, because sustainability is actually something that affects everyone. It's not for people who specialize in sustainability. So, for example, with regards to storytelling and shaping narrative, marketing and advertising will come into the fray. There are academics that are trying to solve for this thing. It is for them as well. So anybody who engages in some sort of sustainability, ESG, sustainable thinking, some level of consciousness in terms of how they operate and their contribution to the detriment of the universe or the betterment of lives in society.
Fascinating. So how far can people still participate?
Yes, people can still definitely participate. If you go to our website, which is thinkerneur.co.za, on above there's a tab, it's the survey tab.
Gotcha.
So you can click on it and take part in the survey.
When can we expect the results?
The results, so that will be determined by the number of respondents we get. I think we're looking at about between 800 and 1,000 entries, submissions.
In America, they'll do a study where 500 people respond, and that'll be what the nation thinks about life.
I mean, that's a target. And I think still 400, to your point, 400, 600 is still a substantial sample.
Got you.
For what we're trying to package and share with the world. So 800 to 1,000 is our target, but definitely 400 is a good sample.
Awesome stuff. Because I wouldn't let you go. It wouldn't be the Pattern Brands podcast if we don't play the Pattern Brands quiz. Let's test your knowledge of recent developments.
Hectic.
The world of brands. Right? Are you ready? Are you ready?
First, I just want to say there's a lot going on.
Yeah.
In my mind.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on. If you add raising a 10-year-old, I have to think about all of those things.
Yeah, but you were saying campaigns, hey, we don't, but we are in the industry.
So if I miss something, it's probably due to, I don't know, a sporting thing that I need to think about at school.
Got you. Let's see. Let's start with this one. The Ministry of Tourism recently appointed a new spokesperson, and this person happens to be a former news anchor.
I don't know his name. I forget his name.
Yeah?
The guy who was at Newsroom Africa.
Okay.
I forget his name.
Starts with an A?
I won't say it. I forget his name. I know the face.
Yeah.
I know him. Yeah. He was also, part of, an altercation with, with the female driver. Yeah.
Okay, I'll give it to you. It's Aldrin.
I would have never have guessed Aldrin.
Okay. Yeah, Aldrin Simpia is the name. Okay, we're going to give you a pat for that one.
Thank you.
Since you like sports and soccer.
Oh my goodness.
What is the new vehicle partner for Orlando Pirates?
If you had said Kaizer Chiefs, that would have been an appropriate one. Vehicle.
Yeah.
Vehicle.
Yeah, vehicle partner.
Wait. I actually saw it. Give me a clue.
It's Japanese.
Is it the SUV one? The SUV brand?
They also have small cars.
Okay.
Actually, I think their smallest car is best-selling car in the country?
Japanese.
Starts with an S.
Suzuki.
Yeah, Suzuki.
Okay.
That's the one. That's the one.
Okay.
Okay.
Hey, Suzuki's going hard. They also sponsor the Proteas Women and the Proteas 50.
Oh yeah, Ghana cricket is your thing.
Yeah.
Which brand won the overall top brand at the 4th annual Yobas?
Overall brand.
Overall top brand 2025.
Yo. Remember what I said about there's a lot going on?
Yeah. I'll give you a clue. Kimi's Creations, Afrocurl, or Tebo?
Kimi's Creation.
You get a slap. That's not the correct one. That's not the correct one. Afrocurl.
Okay. Sorry, Afrocurl.
Afrocurl, very dynamic brand.
Okay.
There's been a very interesting acquisition in the financial services sector. Which bank?
Ikoka, Netbank.
You're forward. Ne?
Do I get 2 points?
You are forward. You are forward.
I have to get 2 pads.
You can't. For being forward. Last question. Who is... Okay. What is the name of the foundation that was started by Makosa?
I'm going to take a guess. Is it the Makosa Africa Foundation? Or is it the Laduma Foundation?
It's not. Last chance?
Threads Foundation?
No, it's not. You get a slap. It's Lindelwa Foundation.
Okay.
Which is...
Who's Lindelo?
It's their mom's name.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, that's dope.
That's the woman that taught Makosa
Yes.
how to thread.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Sorry, Laduma rather. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's Lindela Foundation.
Nice.
Bogosi, any parting shots? What do you hope could change so that when you come back here, you said things have changed?
I'm hoping to get approval on a few proposals that I've sent.
Okay.
So I want to come back and talk about that.
Okay.
Yeah. But overall, I don't know. I'm just excited about life. And
It's amazing.
yeah, I'm just excited. I think it's amazing to be alive, to be given the opportunity to think and ideate and create the things that you want to create, to work with brands that understand you, you understand them.
Yeah.
I think we should, as we go through this thing of working and life and challenges, I think we should try to do it with a smile and be happy.
Smile and be happy.
I'm just hoping the proposals get approval.
Okay, guys, whoever receive the proposal from Bogosi, please.
And will receive in the coming weeks.
Yeah, just make sure that you approve it.
Please.
The man will be happy.
Please.
And we'll all be happy.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. It does help us, to reach more people when we do those kinds of things. And for me, Pat Mahlangu ngiti inahailale.
Pat. It's Pat on Brands. Watch how you branded, man. A pat on the back is a pat from the man. Better be branded, man. A pat from the pat is a pat on the brand. If it's enormous.